Hi, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's in the latest version of LiftTracker. Right now we're up to 1.6, and I've been working pretty hard to take all those calculations and graph them. A lot of the feedback I got was the stuff is great, but hey, it's just too much data. I can't really tell what's going on. So, spent a lot of time, looking at graphing libraries and found one that sort of does a pretty good job of taking all that data and plotting it out. So really, to get used, to get into it, all you do is click on the Analyze button, and this is assuming that you've been logging your training for more than a few weeks, because the plot points are at week intervals. So probably helps to have at least 4 or 5 weeks of data before this becomes useful. So you click on Analyze, and you'll come in, and you'll see that the default view is squat. Now what we're showing here is your intensity, basically your average intensity, combining all the exercises that support the squat. And it's also broken out by equipment versus non-equipped lifting. So you'll see here is the average intensity leading up to this a meet. You can see that kind of ramp the intensity up. The last week was a deload, and the intensity went back down. And also something that's kind of funny is you'll see that most of the weeks I don't do very much raw training anymore. But you do have that capability of seeing both. If you're a raw only lifter and you've set that in your preferences, you won't even see the equipped stuff. So, let's just drill down a little bit here. So you've got the number of sets, per week that you've done that have contributed towards the intensity, and you've got the average intensity. Something to note is we include the accessory lifts. For instance, on a squat, narrow stance squats or reverse band squats are counted towards your intensity. Some people you might not want that. Maybe you just want to include your core lifts only. Now, there's an option for that. You can go in here and you can basically turn the accessories off, and it will recompute all the sets with just the core lift. And this is the same for bench and deadlift. You can get a breakdown on your bench training, breakdown on the deadlift training. We won't talk about the fact that I have no deadlift training. So let's go back to the squat. Let's see what else we have in here. You can also turn things off so you can zoom the graph in on just what you care about. And that's going to be more useful as more graphs come with a lot more information. Some other things that you can do is right now I'm showing by default sets. If you care more about your reps, the number of sets when you're computing volume, you can switch this over to being a rep based. So you'll see the number is a little bit different, and it's measured by the amount of reps rather than sets. I also got some feedback that they'd like to be able to see the graph in the reverse order, because you'll notice right now it's taken the start date and it's descending over 12 weeks. Some people might want to see from the beginning of a cycle towards the right, so you just reverse the graph, and you'll see that the numbers go up. That's pretty much it for the first set of graphs. We're going to see a lot more graph support because we've got a ton of statistics. Accessory movements, you can compare yourself to other lifters, things like that, but that's all coming. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this preview and it was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can just shoot me an email. Always happy to hear feedback.